another day, and today we are at the park. I just completed another workout. Today was day 4, and I can't lie, amazing, love it. And right now I'm at the park, and I was like, you know what, let me just go record something, right? So I've noted, well, first and foremost, guys, as you've seen, my all my platforms have changed from Her Voice God's Kingdom to It's Real with T. And I changed it that way because it's so much in this season, it's so much in my life where I want to embrace it and share it with you guys. And it's like I don't want to be exclusive towards the people who don't believe, right? I do believe that people who don't believe will one day believe in God, and I can't exclude people from seeing my journey with God. And what I mean by that, it's like, as much as I love the name Her Voice God's Kingdom, I understood that, like, I feel like a squirrel's gonna like fall on me. I understood that people might not want to watch a video because it says God in it. And it's not to say that, oh, like I want to just make sure like people who believe are watching my videos. I want everyone to watch my videos. Whoever feels connected, whoever feels called to watch it, whoever feels like they could relate to my videos, it was meant for you to hear, it was meant for you to see, it was meant for you to come across the video. And so I found myself yesterday just thinking about this season of my life, you know, this season of newness, freshness, change, this feeling of surrender, waiting, patience, renewal. It's a lot that I'm feeling, a lot that I'm processing, a lot that I'm thinking about and pretty much taking in. And I want to take you guys on that journey with me. And it's like I'm learning a lot about myself, my confidence. You know, moving to a new state was not something that was easy. It was definitely a leap of faith. And I feel like in the midst of this, like where I'm at, I'm learning so much about myself. I have so much more confidence in myself. It's like, I don't know what it was in New York, but like I was confident, but the person I am here in a new state, it's like, it's so different in so many good ways. It's like I'm embracing who I am. I'm confident who I am. And it's something about like not knowing people where you're at, where you're living, where you're located, where you work at or you live at, or you walk into a store and you know you're not gonna run into nobody because you don't know nobody. And I mean, when I was younger, like I moved a lot growing up, but it was just, it's different as an adult because now you're going to like the supermarket, you're going to Dollar General, you're going to Family Dollar, you're going to the mall by yourself. You don't know anybody. Versus when you go as an adult, when you go places and you know people, it's like everyone knows everyone. And so I just feel like with here and like where I'm at, I love it. I really love it. And I've just been, I feel myself like feeling not overwhelmed per se, but like, oh God, like when am I gonna go back to work? But I've learned to just understand that like God has a plan. You know, God's not going to let me, what's the word, like lack anything, because He has me, He got me, He knows what I need. And because God knows what I need, He will provide. And I have faith in that. And I trust that. And I trust God. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of like adjusting. You know, I'm somebody that, well, I wouldn't say I am someone, but I guess I still am. I'm very hardworking. I'm a very hardworking woman. I like to work. And I like to stay productive, stay proactive. I like to like always have something to do, pretty much. And in New York, I found myself like on the go, on the go, on the go, where I was like, dang, like I'm always doing something. And now, here I am. It is 9:23. I'm at a park doing another video, and I'm journaling my videos. I'm videoing my journey, and I'm showing you guys the real. And it's like, it's different because I know, like in New York, I had my job, I had my friends, I had the church I was going to. I had recently started attending a connect group, and now it's like I'm completely new to the area. I'm completely new to the state. I've lived here before, but this is new as an adult, so it's all new to me. And so I haven't worked in 3 weeks, and God's been providing, like there's still food on the table, still a roof on top of my head. I still have access to the gym. And that's another thing that I'm grateful for, is like the way that God has been providing. It's like there's things where there's things that could have had happened, but like God provided. There's things that could have not been taken care of, but God took care of it. And that's a blessing in itself. When I was coming from New York to the state that I'm in, it was like a, dang God, like how am I gonna do this? But it was more so like a, don't worry about it, I got you. And I trusted that. And then now that I'm here, it's like I trust that even more, because I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like, I didn't plan to move out of state when I did. On the little bird. I didn't plan to leave when I did or how I did. But when it comes to God, it's like you can never go around God's plans. You can probably take a different path that will leave you away from the path that God has for you. But at the end of the day, God's gonna still put you to reroute to the path that you're meant to take. So wherever you're meant to end up at, you're going to end up there. So it's like, because I knew that, because I trusted that, because I understood that, is the reason why I took a jump and I took a leap. And I was like, God, like this is it. I'm gonna trust you. I don't know what the next step looks like, but this is what we're gonna do. And so, since it wasn't planned, it's like I was only applying to jobs that week. And I've had interviews, like I've had Zoom interviews, I've had 2 interviews in person, I've had on the phone interviews. But I've noticed that a lot of like jobs here are very, kind of not that they're different, but like pay rates is very different than New York. And that's something to consider, that's something to think about, because the prices here on things are not the same as they are in New York. Another thing is like, what's another thing? It's like, I was going to the gym over there. I was, I was working out. I was, you know, doing my thing. And I had a routine. So here, it's like, to get back into that, it's not easy. I'm gonna be real with you guys. That's why I changed the name. It's Real with T, because I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Like, this is the real. Like, this walk with God is not easy. This is the real. And so basically, I had a routine, with the gym, with work, with life, with church, with friendships, everything. And so now to like change it up, now to start over, it's different. So I have, like I said, applied. I've been doing interviews, phone interviews, Zoom interviews. I've been doing all of it. But when it comes to God, it's like you have to trust God with the job that He has for you. So as I'm like, as I'm doing these interviews and as I'm doing these applications, I'm like, God, if it's for me, you open that door. And so the other day as I was like sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm like, dang, like, I felt like, dang, can I like work already? Like, I want to work already. And for a moment, I guess I had like a moment of, I don't really know what to call it, but it was like a moment where I'm like, maybe this is time for me to focus on something else. Maybe it's not time for me to get a job yet. Maybe it's time for me to just rest in God, to take time for myself, to heal, to, feel the feelings. Maybe it's time to just be still. And sometimes, like, being still just means, like, resting in God's word, pouring into yourself, pouring into your hobbies. It's different. And so I just find myself, like, in that position of, like, every time I find myself stressing or, like, feeling overwhelmed, just understand, like, God's working on something. God has me waiting for a reason. There's a purpose in the waiting. There's a reason why I'm waiting for a job. And it's either I worry about the things that are not even there yet, or I trust God in the waiting. Because like I said, at the end of the day, God sees what's going to happen before it happens. It's not like I'm sitting here shopping, splurging, buying bikinis, buying clothes, just splurging what I have. It's like I'm waiting. And so it's in those moments where like God sees that. And it's like he's not going to just not provide at the end of the day. So it's just some things that I like been thinking about, been meditating on, been just reflecting on, because it is all fairly new. And then like it's also giving me a chance to like get to know myself in a different way. Because in New York, not that I was like closed off or like not that I was like, you know, cluttered. It was a lot that was like on my mind. And I feel like here I'm learning to be confident in who I am. Even literally right now, like when that gentleman was like walking, like I could have said like good morning or something. And he was literally like right there cleaning. I could have been like good morning, but I didn't. But it's like it's moments like that where like you can have an encounter with somebody and now I'm like, dang, I should have said good morning. But next time that can happen. I can say, hey, good morning. But it's like, it's because I'm still adjusting to a new state. In New York, it's like if you say good morning to somebody, like they might not even be like good morning. They might just look at you and be like, like not a bee coming around. But yeah, and here it's like they keep the community clean, they keep the state clean, like everything's just so clean here and different. And like I said, it's just a lot of adjusting. So in that moment where I found myself like kind of like thinking or like getting in my head, I had to remind myself like God's working on something. God is doing what he's doing. And you don't know what he's working on. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know why you're waiting, but you know who you follow. And so I share all this because it's not because I'm like bragging about the season I'm in. It's because I'm being real with you guys. Like, this is the season. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this morning I woke up and I was a little bit annoyed because my monthly is coming and I just want ice cream and I just want to lay down and just chill. But I know that I have to get up and I have to move my body. I have to get my steps in. I have to drink water, vitamins, be healthy. And I can't dwell in like letting a day just pass by. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be productive. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with having rest, finding that rest. But also, like, it's also resting in his word, resting in God, or even like resting in being so productive, or doing something too much. It's like finding rest in that too, because that's not a bad thing either. But other updates I would say is like I said with the like earlier, I had completely changed the name on my platforms because of the reason I said, but also because I noticed that like I started like recording the things that was happening in my life, like the season that I was in. I was talking about the seasons that I was in, and I started video recording the things that I was doing, like let's say spending time with family, or let's say going on a walk for the first time, like doing a lot of things for the first time. And moving here, it's a lot of things that I'm doing for the first time. So I started noticing that, like I started embracing my prior seasons, embracing this season, embracing what I've been doing, what I did before. And I'm like, it does align, but I wanted to also, it's all like I also see that it's me being real with you guys, with people, me being honest with the journey and the season that I'm in. So that's why I was like, it's time for a change. And that's what I ended up doing, a change. So I'm excited for this journey. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm very excited for everything that God is doing in this season of waiting. And I just feel like, in general, like my life has changed ever since I got baptized. Like I got baptized April 2025. And actually, I think it's about to be a year since I got baptized. And when I tell you, like, who would have thought a year later I'd be in a new state? Who would have thought a year later I'd be in the position that I'm in? Like, even saying that gives me chills because I'm so grateful. Like, a year ago, like, where was I a year ago? A year ago I was very like I was very much like God centered, but then again I wasn't, because I was slowly surrendering things. And I've always I've always been in not that I've always been in alignment with God, but I've always like tried to be in alignment with God and like be where he wants me. But a year ago, I literally surrendered things and people, relationships, friendships that I wanted and I chose. And then now it's like God's just been doing it. Like I said, I didn't plan to move here. I didn't plan a lot of things that are happening in my life. I didn't plan a lot of things. And when I tell you, like, God, I'm not gonna say God is full of surprises, but honestly, like, you cannot be surprised, because nothing surprises God. Like, you can be surprised, but it's not gonna surprise God. And so I'm just like in awe because of what God has done, this year. Like I said, a year ago, I decided to get baptized. I decided to take that leap. And I wouldn't say take that leap, but I mean like go into giving my life to Jesus Christ, and, you know, acknowledging that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And ever since then, like, I've been giving more to God. I've been surrendering my thoughts, my desires, my wants, my needs, because I know that God will provide. God hears me. God sees me. And there's just a lot of things that I've learned this year about myself, but also about God. Like, there's a lot that I've learned with God. And if there's one thing that I really do know, it's that he never left me, and he never will leave me. You know, he knows where I am today. He knows what's happening. And if there's anything I feel in this season, it's peace. Like, I feel so much peace in knowing that God's preparing me for that job. God's helping me. And I'm currently actually working on something. I have an exam next week to get licensed for something. And I'll probably share that with you guys another time. But that's something that I never thought about in New York. And being here, it's something that I actually thought about doing. And now I'm actually like, working on that. And other things that I've been working on is like my poems. I think I mentioned that in the other video. Like, I've been working on my poems and like trying to figure out like the pages, the words, just a lot of different things with the book. But it's a lot that I feel. It's a lot that I'm grateful for. And it's like I sit here and I look around and I see people walking their dogs and people just so joyful and so happy. And it's kind of a little chilly outside, I'm not gonna lie. But there's birds everywhere. And it's just a beautiful thing. I feel like I belong here, if that makes sense. Like, I've reached a place where I feel like I belong here. I feel so at peace. And I love it here. I gotta text my dad. I text him every single morning. Good morning. But yeah, so that's pretty much an update. I'm good. I'm grateful. I've been more aware of like when I do have those moments of like the overthinking or overwhelming, or whenever I have thoughts that don't align with God, I try to ring it out. There's a bird walking to me. I try to ring it out and be like, let's run that back. That is a different looking bird. It looks like it's faded, like the color. But yeah, it's walking this way. Oh, birds are so cute. They're so beautiful. And like, I wanted to play basketball. Well, I don't play basketball. I just throw the ball in the hoop. So we just say throw the ball. And they're having like a basketball practice with the kids. So I can't practice throw the ball. So we won't be playing basketball today. Oh well. At least I did 15 minutes on the Stairmaster and 15 minutes on the treadmill. And that's 30 minutes. So that's not bad. But anyways, guys, I think this video is coming to an end. And so, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe, like this video. Honestly, I know I haven't been like saying that in my other videos. I've just been vlogging or I've just been video recording. But we're gonna get back into the groove of things. We're just getting back into the groove of things. And if there's one thing I know, it's like I want to keep recording. I want to keep sharing my testimony with you guys and my journey with you guys. So this is the real. It's real with T. It's really real with her, because man, when I tell you it's been a journey, it's been a journey. But I love you guys so much. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.